Absolutely love his channel. He's just very simple, like, not pretentious. Yeah, easy to watch, and some of his stuff turns out pretty damn good.
Is your background really dark, or you just got some way of making it dark artificially?
You mean back there?
Yeah.
No, I have a black tarp.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't.
That's alright.
I'm trying to figure out how to get this. Anyway, I
No,
think
your
that's
image is
about all
coming
I
in good. Like, the image is coming in very good.
have. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So last time we said we got to find a way to not talk over each other.
Yeah. Um,
Like,
okay, I'll try to be very mindful when you're talking. I'll wait for you to finish your sentences.
we don't want to. We're not going to do CB and go over,
No.
or pull on my ear. Say it's your turn.
Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna always count 1 full second when you're done a sentence before I talk.
Okay. So it sounds like there's not much of a delay though.
No, it's pretty good.
Yeah. So if I go 1, 2, and then you say three, so 1, 2.
3.
Oh, you're either slow or there's a little delay.
There's
Usually.
gonna be a little delay. It has to be.
Okay.
But
One,
the
2.
3.
Okay, it's a tiny bit of a delay. So yeah, you count that 1 second, 1,000 in your head, and if nothing else comes out, then your turn.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
should we
this time I'm
talk about? Okay, so should we just go into it and say we were talking about a pork recipe, and then
Yeah, well, essentially that's the you and I have been talking about pork even from the first
oh, so
episode.
it is recording, so I don't have to say start
Yeah,
recording.
last time we didn't record half of it, so this time I started recording
You
before you even showed up.
Yeah, last time you had to you said, "Oh, give me a second," and you came back and you didn't restart it.
Exactly. So
Okay.
no, not repeating that mistake. So pork.
Okay.
I was looking at just general YouTube videos to try to see if there's something out there that I've never tried and no, I think I've tried everything that most common videos are doing. I do have a couple I wanted to just show you 3 seconds just to say like this one is the size. Personally, a pork chop that is this thick, I despise. I like a pork chop that's at least an inch and a quarter or an inch and a half up.
Okay, so let me go into when we were chatting via text earlier. You had brought up, you know, a quartet of glazes, which I have no problem with glazes. I think glazes work well with a pork chop. But I have a problem with glazes, sweet glazes when it comes to wine pairing, and that's what we do is the wine pairing, and maybe that would be a challenge. What can we go with the glaze? But my thinking when I come with the glaze, I'm almost thinking dessert, and I will often at the end of supper when let's have dessert, and I still feel like having a glass of wine, I will delay the dessert because as soon as that sweet gets into my mouth, it's as if my wine taste buds are over. They're ruined. Like ice cream, a spoonful of ice cream, forget it. I need like 48 hours, I think, before I can taste wine again properly. So that was my problem with the glazes. Not that they didn't sound amazing, just I think the wine pairing could be a challenge. Now, if that's the kind of challenge you want to go after, let me know right now.
I don't know if that's what I wanna go after. It's, I agree with you 'cause I have a tendency to not want anything that's super sweet with my main meal, especially my protein. So, if I make a glaze for a pork chop, I don't want that glaze to be super sweet. Like, for instance, one of the glazes I had sent you was, like, spicy pineapple. Now, if I were to make a glaze for spicy pineapple, I would find a way to reduce significantly the sweetness from the pineapple. Make it so that it's more of, like, the last layer of flavor, not the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th. I wanna taste the pork up front and the seasoning. Um, or I wouldn't glaze the entire thing with the glaze. I would just have a little bit on the side on the plate where once in a while I kind of dip a piece in it. That being said, I don't know what kind of value there is for us to find wines to pair with pork glaze. So I'm not sold on the glaze. We don't need to do glaze.
So, see, I equate it to, you do barbecued ribs. Okay,
Yep.
nice barbecued rib with finished with some sort of a sweet sauce. Fantastic, but having it with wine, like maybe you can pull off a rosé with some body, but it's it's just almost like an alcohol delivery vehicle. You're better off with the beer. You're better off probably something, I don't know, like a bourbon and ginger ale. I don't know. Like it's it's not. I don't think that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to do that. That Cabernet Sauvignon with the perfect Côte de Boeuf, or like the last episode with the Greek wine, or the Chard, or the Chablis with those shrimp and uh, I can't even remember what we had. It was just so good. The shrimp and crab, the leftover shrimp crab
Yes. Yes.
rolls with the wines that we had.
But you
Those
got me
are
thinking.
those were wow, and that's what we're looking for. We're looking for wow. We're not looking for. I think this might work.
No, I want something. Yeah, same. I want something that I go, wow. I want to go wow with the food, and I want to find. That's why we do more than one bottle of wine because we want to find something that's more wow. But what if we? I'm not saying we have to now. But beer is an interesting thing also because beer is not just about hey, get yourself a blonde beer and no. Like let's say we did let's just for fun. Let's say we did do some sort of spicy pineapple glaze on a pork chop. Would you go with a pilsner? Would you go with a red ale? Would you go with an IPA because that's the only thing people buy these days? Or a stout or like just curious. Is there something there?
Well, as I've bragged about in the past, I was in the beer industry. I was a brewmaster, but back when I was doing it, you didn't have these crazy overhopped IPAs. Um, I'm I'm not convinced that there's any great food pairing for these super bitter IPAs, but maybe that's a challenge. IPAs. Everyone's buying them. Everyone's having them. But what the hell do you eat with an IPA?
Interesting. But that
But that
requires a
said,
lot of research.
that
We gotta
said,
try.
but back to the what you're saying there, the uh, the spicy glazed
Pineapple.
pineapple pork chop with a beer. The pineapples, like I know if you have Indian food, um, like a British style bitter, low in carbonation, um, bitter enough, but there's a bit of malt sweetness. I find goes well with the spicy Indian food, the whatnot. So could that same approach work with the pineapple? You say it's not. You said a spicy pineapple. I guess it depends how spicy. Are you just
Yeah.
talking heat? Are you
Yeah, I
talking?
wouldn't I wouldn't kill ourselves. I'm talking, talking jalapeno level of spice, not even habanero level of spice. Like not something that we're gonna sweat. It's still too hot outside. I want a bit of heat, maybe a hint of a bite, but I don't wanna get halfway through the pork chop and be like, oh my God. Maybe in the winter, but not when it's 95 degrees Fahrenheit outside.
Yeah. So, would a nice light lager work? Probably wouldn't be terrible. I mean, if
And
you're
because
going,
it's beer, we could also have a massive amount of a much bigger amount of sampler for us to find what works better than having it's kind of hard for us to have 10 beers to have 10 bottles of wine to have 10 sips, but what the heck is having 10 2-ounce cups of different beers for us to just sample and find the right one? It doesn't require also a huge investment. I don't mind picking up 10 different beers.
Or a case of 12 that are all the same, but we make sure.
That too. I don't mind getting 10, 12 cases of beer so that the one we find, we have lots left.
I mean, it's, I have some ideas of how it would go without having tasted the pork chop. Thinking, yeah, a nice crisp lager would probably kind of act the same way as, let's say, a nice clean dry white wine, in a sense.
Yeah.
But then, we want the fuller body. You know how we go for a fuller body tannic wine to go with a big steak? Would we want a fuller bodied? Um, I mean, bitterness is not exactly like tannins, but it could in this case work. Depending on what the spices are, it'll work with the pork part, like the tannins from the beef, so from the beer. Tannins, the bitterness from the hops in the beer could nicely go with the pork, and then the slight sweetness from a maltier beer might go really well with the spiciness.
So what's interesting about having more than one beer is the same thing with our wines. Is, to me, even for me, my level of education when we do a video is not just with the one wine that's better. I understand why the other wines that we have, why I wouldn't go for those next time, or why they're not as good as the one that we picked. This beer could be the same thing. Let's say I said 10 before. 10's a lot, but let's say we had 4 different beers. We picked 4 different beers, and as we have them as sample, one will stand out, but the other ones we might describe a different experience. Not necessarily they'll be bad.
Yeah, better suit or something. Like I said, like we don't have a good selection of real British beers that you can buy. You can get some
No.
in some of the indie restaurants, like on tap, but to bring home, there's not that many. I find that there's even less now than you used to be able to. I mean, the only ones I can think of aren't even really British; they're Irish. They're like the Kilkennys of the world, and the
Yeah.
what's the other one there that comes with the you buy Guinness.
Yeah,
Smithwick's,
Smithwick's. Yeah.
is another one. Like Smithwick's is almost like Kilkenny, but the Kilkenny has the widget, like the nitrogen in the can, so it's not as carbonated. You just get a creamy, rich head, which I like. I find when you're having a beer that has lots of carbonation, it fills you up too much.
I agree.
Whereas something like a Guinness or the Kilkenny, that tends to have, well, it does. It's not tends because it's the nitrogen. The nitrogen comes out of a solution. It's not as soluble as CO2, so it forms the nice creamy head on top, but it leaves the beer underneath fairly still. So that's why it's not as filling. You don't get gassed up,
Hmm.
um, which usually the spicy Indian food is going to gas you up all by itself. That's probably like with the chickpeas and all the lentils and whatnot that they use in it. That's you get the carbonated beer, the lentils, the chickpeas, or that's a recipe for not having a good night's sleep. But if you have those low carbonation beers like the British styles, tend to fare better.
Okay, but considering okay, I guess we'll have to. It depends what we have access to. Because I mean, as far like, there's a lot of local stuff that there's no shortage of, but 90% of the local stuff, unfortunately, it tends to go with some heavy hops, like really heavy hops.
Yeah, it's
Every brewery now, it does, like, out of their 20 beer catalog, 14 are IPAs.
yeah, a West Coast IPA, a New England IPA, a tropical IPA, a sour IPA, a white IPA. If
Yeah,
a
a
white
session
IPA is no longer
IPA,
an
like, it's
IPA,
all IPAs, IPAs, IPAs.
yeah.
And then they'll do one stout, which, okay. Although, I have seen a few that are doing rum ales now, but anyways, pork chops.
Pork chop. So
So
we do have
maybe
some possibilities there with the beer that opens up another avenue. But the pork chops, like the second thing you sent me, um, like I love to do a pork chop with a simple spice rub, salt,
I
pepper,
like
maybe
that
some
too.
paprika, maybe a bit of garlic, and you do it in a pan. You do it slowly in a pan. Let the juices from the pork, and then it tends to caramelize, but it's not a sweet caramelization. It's kind of like the same caramelization you get on a steak.
Yes.
The Maillard reaction, the
Garlic
protein
vinegar
tends
when
to
it's
be
cooked
brown.
down makes it.
That's why I'm going back to this video. It's the cold, even the cold sear works. So they put it like I did with the chicken on the plancha. It actually goes in a cold pan.
Mhm. I've seen that.
And it works well. It really does, especially with pork, because on a pork chop, the ones that have like that thick thing of fat, they'll usually score that fat to prevent the pork chop from forget the term.
Curling.
Yeah, curling. But when you're doing it on a cold sear, a lot less chances of that happening.
Plus, I
But
mean,
what do you think of the sumac idea? So that it's kind of hit me. I was like, wait a second. Sumac is like it's one of the common herbs or spices, I should say, because I think it's from a type of berry, if I'm not mistaken. It's like a dried, it's like powdered from a type of berry. I mean, we could look this up.
yeah, it's a sumac. It's a sumac tree. I think I could be completely wrong. I think it's some kind of an evergreen, maybe even. And it's something from that evergreen.
Not pleasant tanginess. Not.
Yeah, what is sumac spice
What is
properties? Watch
sumac
11 minutes of this.
spice? Unusual properties and culinary uses. Number 1. What is sumac spice? Sumac spice grows from the little reddish berries of the sumac bush that grow in dense clusters at the branch tips called bobs. The red berry fruit is fuzzy and sticky when ripe, with a thin.
Okay, but don't we have these trees here, and nobody takes the berries off these trees?
Who knows? It may not be the same kind. We might have like a distant cousin of it, and it'll kill you.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's what I found fascinating is that I think a type of spice like sumac, which is very prominent in most, I guess, Muslim/Islamic countries, and most of these places also don't eat pork. So when I look up recipes of pork recipes with sumac, zero.
But if you look up lamb recipes,
Then yes.
As far as I'm concerned, I've done very similar sort of what I'll sometimes cook lamb or pork, and at the end I'll put on like a sauce.
Yeah.
And sumac would be something that I might put in that sauce. And I might do, mustard, olive oil, garlic, and I don't know, paprika, but I could see sumac in there, no problem. Like you've had a fattoush salad.
I love fattoush salad. Yeah.
And there's that little zingy something in there that you don't know what it is. Well, that's sumac. So I see that working. It's lemony, slightly bitter.
That work with the pork chop. It's I'm sure it does.
I'm willing to sacrifice my supper time tomorrow night and try a few different sumac spice rubs. So what do you think of we come up with let's say 2, maybe 3 sumac spice rub ideas, and I'll give them a try. I'm not going to do like 3 2-inch thick pork chops. I'll probably
No, you're just testing.
Yeah, I'm just testing for the flavor. So I'll probably get some, I might get 3 medium, nicely fatty pork chops, just basically to try the glaze. And not the glaze, but spice rub.
Yeah.
I'm umming too much, but that's how I speak when I'm thinking food. I'm not saying I'm saying yum.
In my last Sumac video.
So let's see. Okay, so you think they use sumac with lamb?
I'd be surprised if we can't find any lamb with sumac. There you go, sumac lamb chops.
Assalamu alaikum, guys. Yeah, it's might be the British summer, but it's cold and wet outside, so I'm having to do today's episode inside. But I do have a treat for all you guys, so I hope you're ready for some cooking, or at least ready to watch me do some cooking anyway. Today what I'm doing is I'm making something called Sumac lamb. I know it's not smack lamb, it's Sumac lamb. Sumac comes from the Sumac bush, and then it's grounded. I'm going to actually show you. 1 second.
Smack
It
lamb.
looks like that. And if you never cooked with sumac before, it's so fruity, and it gives such a different flavor to lamb. You never really, especially with Asian, all we do is put masala on it and stick it in the grill. So this is something different, something new and exciting for a lot of you guys. So I hope that you guys buy some. You can't buy this in the normal supermarkets. You have to go to. We have like Arabic supermarkets over here, and they sell sumac per kilo. Also, again.
So what's really good too, that's made with sumac, that can also be a spice rub for pork, is za'atar spices. So za'atar has a lot of sumac in it. That's where the za'atar has its tanginess. And I think what he just showed us in that bag looked like za'atar mix, because it had little. I don't know if you saw that, but
if you never cooked with sumac before, it's so fruity, and it gives such a different flavor to lamb. And looks like that.
okay. I don't know if you're seeing it, but there's these little. See these little.
Which are the? I think there's sesame seeds.
seeds?
I think it's sesame seeds in a sumac. I'd say that it's either oregano or savory.
Okay.
In there too, there's like a little, a dry herb also.
Yeah.
There's something else though, because sumac, za'atar has a very smoky flavor to it.
It can. Okay. But yeah, let's just stick to the sumac. I just want to see what else he
I do
does.
for lamb chops. I've got front chops, which are better than back chops. There's actually a difference. The back chops are a lot smaller. Front chops are a lot more, but you get that perfect. Okay. You get that perfect cutlet. That's what you want. So, into our bowl, 2.5 tablespoons of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of our sumac, just a sprinkle of salt, just a pinch of black pepper. I say put in about 1 good tablespoon worth of chili flakes. If you really like it spicy, I'm a spicy guy, so I like mine spicy. And finally, we've got lemon, nimbu, as you guys like to call it. What am I saying? You guys are. I'm Pakistani as well. We all call it nimbu. Right. So we got nimbu. We got gravy over here. So I'm just gonna roughly. About 1/4 of the zest. That's all we need.
Okay, essentially, I think that.
So in with the lamb pieces. So just make sure that you get a good spread of the sumac.
Yeah, it's almost like he's making the salad dressing for a. Well, it's almost like a salad dressing. I think what do they have? Pomegranate molasses, I think, is the classic that goes into a fattoush dressing. But apart from that, similar. I couldn't tell if there was like just a straight sumac. It didn't seem when he poured it in. It didn't seem that seedy. Like I don't think it was a za'atar. But
no, I think it was just sumac. I think it was just sumac. It wasn't za'atar.
Yeah, which, I mean,
Which is
yeah,
fine.
that if I were to do a, but that's like a marinade. That's not really a dry rub. But if I were to do let's say I was going to do a marinade with sumac to see what it tastes like, that's pretty much, he's salt, pepper, sumac, a bit of lemon zest, which I don't even know if that's needed.
No, I'm surprised actually because the sumac already brings that tanginess.
Yeah, so if you're making a dressing, I would see adding the lemon juice to get the acid, but I don't know if you need the zest. I mean, I'm willing to try something like just simple salt. What if I do one like a salt, pepper, sumac, and that's it. So we can really see what adding sumac to a simple pork chop is. Then there's one that I saw. We'd add a bit of garlic powder to it, and the other, it's like a Mexican spice.
Cumin.
There we go. Like I saw that I sent you, I think earlier today, like a spice rub idea, which, just a straight spice rub, a little bit of oil in the pan, and then do that sort of slow heat.
All right, so you can test both.
Yeah,
you have one that has a little bit more. It's gonna have a bit more depth with the cumin and the garlic, and the other one will be more on the tanginess with just the sumac, salt,
really
pepper.
The sumac, to see what that does. And should we try something else too? Like if I find, I'm thinking about my big cast iron pan, 3 regulation size pork chops. I can fit them in there. I could fit in 3, so should probably do a third one.
So something that's not sumac related, I would think.
No, well, if we're trying to do the sumac.
Okay, do another sumac thing.
But something that, the garlic and, well, maybe I'd almost do one salt, pepper, sumac, and garlic powder, salt, pepper, sumac, garlic powder, and cumin.
So perfect.
See, does the cumin add anything more than the garlic powder? Yeah, and that'll be pretty easy.
And then we'll pick the best one, and that'll be the recipe we'll share.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Because I think the sumac alone and the sumac with garlic powder might be interesting as far as a wine. I think the sumac itself will. I hate to say it, but maybe a lighter Côte d'Or. Give it a chance, but not necessarily. Or it might go with a heavy rosé, like something like a Bandol, which is sort of a full-bodied rosé. So it's got that acidity. It's that sort of it'll complement the sumac.
Perfect.
Like some of the those sort of not sweet, but those sort of berry / rhubarby flavors.
Yeah.
Kind of sumac is in that sort of profile.
Yeah,
so
I can see that.
Those might go really nicely together, or it could be a complete clash. I don't know.
Well, we're gonna find out.
So
we're gonna find out, because I don't think anybody's made a sumac pork before.
Or if they have, they've not shared it with their brethren online. So I like that. The different, adding a little extra to the sumac. I actually have a bottle of that rosé there, the Pétale de Rose.
Yeah.
That we had given
for the chicken.
Thumbs up for the chicken. Yeah. So I'm curious. I think it's too light. It'll get destroyed by the. Oh, but I do also have a bottle of Bandol.
I think it's also dependent on because if it's a thin pork chop, I think your bandol will be better. If it's a thick pork chop, pétale de rose might work because you're gonna have a bigger ratio to pork to the sumac. You're not gonna get as much of that sumac in every bite. But
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to try and find. Like sometimes you can find these restaurant, they call them Frenched or restaurant style pork chops.
yeah,
It's
like they have
basically
the
like a rib
Nagano
steak.
ones.
It's like a rib steak, but they take off all
Yeah,
the
yeah,
little, the two little triangle, the cap and
yeah. The
the
Nagano brand does that.
they do that, yeah. But
But what?
those aren't very thick, eh? Those
No,
are
the only way I get thick them is I usually buy the bone-in loin roast and then
oh,
I cut them myself.
yeah. So I mean, I'll see what's at my local grocery store. I'll pick what's the thickest possible. May not even be a bone in. Every once in a while, you'll get these sort of like
Yeah.
it's almost like ribeye pork chops.
Okay, that works. That
With
works
the
for me.
cap. But whatever, I'll do the best I can. But I think, like you said, I think the flavor profile pork with the spice rub, regardless of the thickness, I think we'll be able. Well, I'll be able to see what I think and pass judgment. And there's always there might be two that it might come down to let's try this one versus that one.
Yeah.
One wine each.
Yeah.
I would think, or if there's one that I find like, wow, this I think will go really well with a particular style of wine, or there might be one that I think this is going to be kick-ass with a rosé or even a white wine or
Yeah.
a lighter. I don't know,
Okay.
lighter res. Where would you go, Loic?
Beaujolais.
Ah, you bastard! No, you were supposed to say your Burgundy.
But I know, but they're getting so expensive.
Yes, a Beaujolais, and you might even be because the beauty of the Beaujolais is you've got what's it 7, 8 crus,
Yeah.
and there's heavier ones, there's lighter ones. I suspect we could always be the pork chop, but pork chop and Beaujolais battle, like have one of the lighter.
And have a stronger one, a thicker
The,
one.
the,
Yeah.
the, the thicker one, like Moulin à Vent, is usually reputed to be and Morgon are the the thicker, heavier. Hard to say tannic, but they are a bit more tannic. They can have some nice soft tannins in it, which go nicely with pork. And then you can go down to the I don't even know which one are the super later ones. I think it's
Okay.
anyway,
Well.
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Yeah,
We'll
it's
we'll
the
find out.
Beaujolais Nouveau, but we're not doing that.
Okay. So what do we have now? All right, we're at 30 minutes of recording. Okay, we're good. I don't think we need
we're
more.
going to test. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be picking a wine, but what I'll do is I'll tell you which one. If there's one that's superior, that stands out, say, Loic, try this.
Yeah.
If there's two that I'm sort of humming and hawing about, you know what? I'm sure you can find some time over the weekend to
Absolutely.
or maybe we'll have to do a final test there at the family outing in a couple of weekends.
Hey, we could even. Why don't we film part of it there?
I was thinking of that, but then
Yeah,
my
I know.
family would look at me and thinking of that. We thought Dad was out having an affair. No, he's filming YouTube videos. We're not sure what's worse.
Yeah. Plus, I'd have to drag all the equipment out
All
there.
the equipment.
But what we could maybe, but
if it's a nice,
we do have iPhones that we could just record some footage that we can also bring to when we actually film our episode.
Oh, it could be some footage of like, hey, we're doing what would
We can ask their opinions. We can
Search.
ask their opinions.
Oh, taste test of the families.
Yeah, why not?
Everybody come and taste these.
Yeah, try this. Like, let us know. Like, which pork chop do you think was the best one?
Testimonials. crowdsourced?
Focus groups.
Ooh. Oh no,
But
then
no, why not?
then we'd have to ask, our families to talk.
Yeah, but that's fine. Whatever. Like we don't even need to. They don't. If they don't want to be on camera, we don't even need to see them. I can just have the camera so that they're kind of just behind the camera and you just hear their voice. That
And
works.
we do like a little cardboard cutout and.
Yeah, I'd love to do that. Or I just pull out a puppet.
Oh, I think this one's good.
What am I saying? We have AI now. All we need is their voices, and I'll make the characters.
Show AI one picture of the real person, and
Yeah, and I said, okay, make that look into a cartoon model of that, and here's the voice. Match the lips.
I don't know. I wanted to I wanted to incorporate that into one of our episodes and say that we 100% guarantee that we are not AI generated.
Oh, I think people see that just by looking at us. There is no effing way AI would generate something that looks like us.
No, no way. We'd set back the mold. Like, oh, we got to go back to. It'd be like what's the one there that the racist one that Elon Musk put out?
When was that?
His chatbot. Look up Elon Musk chatbot, and it started spewing like Nazi propaganda.
Oh yeah, that was a few months ago.
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, but the Google one did that first. Gemini
Yeah.
did that first. Yeah, they're all so we could. They would turn us into gays for Palestine.
I heard Netanyahu a clip from Netanyahu today, and he was gays.
Okay, but you gotta stop. I want to put this as like a whole video section that I don't have to edit.
Okay, stop there.
Now we went down a possible skew, and YouTube's gonna be like, I don't know what to do with this. They're talking about food 1 minute,
Okay,
Netanyahu the
we
next.
could stop it. We could stop it a minute ago.
But I like the idea, like, because coming up. The only thing though, it's in 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, I think we should probably try and nail something down. You know what? I'll do it tomorrow because, like I said,
let's see how it turns out when you do it tomorrow.
I'll do it home alone. Hey, maybe I'll come back to you and say, hey, sumac on pork is disgusting.
Oh, it's possible. So there you go. Let's start with that. But even if it's really good, I like when we meet in 2 weeks from now, I want to have them try it.
Yeah.
Why not? And I'm sure I'm going to film some of their opinions because we can use that later on.
The comments will be, can you guys replace yourselves with your younger siblings?
Very possible.
But they won't be able to spew the knowledge that we have.
No, but they'll be prettier to look at.
Yeah. Or
all right, so pork chops, sumac, probably with rosé or Beaujolais. Sounds good.
I have both here, so I have to try and behave though on a school night. So we'll see.
Well, you're home. You get to spit in just another glass.
I'll start early, then I can just go to bed early and sleep it off.
You don't have to drive. You don't have to spit anything.
Nah, I still gotta remember to feed the dog and put him to bed and sing him a lullaby.
I'm sure you'll manage.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
All right.
Just
Sounds good.
Edit out that the Nazi propaganda part.
Maybe not. Nah, I don't want to. It's just as is. YouTube has this podcast section now. I was thinking since it's 39 minutes long, that'll be the first podcast.
This will be our first podcast.
Whatever.
Oh, so because I know lots of podcasters are filming while they do their podcast and
100%
putting it on YouTube. So YouTube 100%. Is now doing sort of the reverse.
Well, YouTube has an actual podcast section now, which people upload with the video, but then they pipe that to the regular podcasting audio only stuff. So I'm gonna look into it. I'll see, and because I might just take this 40-minute video and have it as a podcast instead of me editing all this up and spending a day and a half
and
cutting our conversations.
We look much better as podcasters.
Well, yeah, Of course. No fancy lighting, no makeup.
And I can go back to this lighting.
Yeah, that's how the internet was back in the early 2000s. Every video you had, everyone had no lights whatsoever. You saw nothing.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
And everyone was talking like this.
Oh, total random thought, but back to what we were talking about 15, 20 minutes ago. What would you think of dry mustard in the rub? Or that is a bit too overpowering? Just putting it out there.
No, that sounds great. Whether it's all going to be, how does it turn out? I don't know. And depends how much of it you're going to use. Because Sumac's got a. Then again, it depends on your ratios. Try it, but it sounds like it would work.
Because I'm almost thinking that dry mustard, from a wine pairing perspective, might fare better than cumin.
Then
I don't know. I might have to get 4 pork chops.
Well, you know what the good news is that just by you taste testing the spices, it's going to give you a huge idea. Because you'll play with your ratio. So you have one with the salt and pepper, you taste a pinch of it, gives you an idea. Try the one with add a little bit of cumin in a separate bowl, take a pinch, you get an idea, have one with a bit of dry mustard, and you'll see which one.
Because you know what? I'm going to stick with the cumin. You know what? I don't know if you've ever had, non-fast food or non-Tex-Mex Mexican food.
Yeah, in Mexico.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's a good place probably to do it. Like some of the sauces are really delicious and unctuous, and they do have cumin, but not this overpowering.
It's not overpowering. You don't feel like you're eating like typical Tex-Mex crap. No, it's much stronger on the natural chilies that they're using. That's the flavor that comes out.
And not all spicy. They got like a million.
No. They got all kinds of chilies. There's like, well, you can not even call them chilies. You call them just peppers. I don't have the names of the peppers right now, but here, since I have a window up, give me a sec. Just when I see the names. They're calling them fried chilies. In the list here.
I'm basically a very lazy cook, so I'm looking for little work and big wins. And dried chilies is a big win with almost no work. What makes dried chilies so amazing is the complexity.
There we go.
Yeah, we don't have this type of dried chili.
What makes
I had mulatto. You can order a pasilla. You can order all of these on Amazon. They come back to guajillo as well. I had some of those.
Say an apricot.
And they have amazing flavors. But I think this is it's a little short for us to acquire this for the sumac thing. Is that what you had in mind?
No, but this is another idea. Chilies don't mean spice. They mean that would be another great show. Like big flavors, we're going to go with some of these, but not heat.
I like that.
Just do this we could bring out our friend, the chicken thigh.
Oh, 100%. And like even having a chicken fried rice that you do and you flavor like as your rice when you cook your rice, you use these types of chilies to flavor the broth that you're cooking the rice in. I've done that. It's amazing.
Okay, cool. So I think that's what I'll do. I'm gonna stick with the cumin, but I'm gonna add a little bit more taste until I reach that sort of sweet spot where it's noticeably different, but doesn't taste like a Tex-Mex taco seasoning.
Sounds good.
Cool. Okay, I will report back maybe as early as tomorrow evening with joy and happiness, or back to the drawing board.
Sounds good.
Cool.
All right.
As always, a pleasure doing business, and you kept the recording on. What progress?
Yes, and the title of this podcast will be, Is Elon Racist?
No, his chatbot.
I know, but it clicks better when you use Elon's name.
I thought we weren't going that.
You know how many YouTubers are getting rich just by putting Elon's name on their titles? Okay, we gotta stop it there.
Well,